Greetings and salutations, YouTube, Ninth Circle here. This is Bill. Pleasure to have you back in the lower depths here. What are we listening to right now? I know it's been a while. It's probably been almost a month since I've made a video here. Lucky number 13 here, 13th video. This is Collection Erection number 4. Like I said, sorry, getting sidetracked. This is what we're listening to right now. Mysticum, Lost Masters of the Universe. This is a 2004 demo collection for this industrial black metal band from Norway, known for In the Streams of Inferno, an incredible record by them. Also, the 2014 record they put out that was called Planet Satan. So, anyway, that is what is playing on the stereo right now. And let's get into this collection update here. First off, we have Dark Millennium. This is Ashore the Celestial Burden here. Turn this down a bit. It's a little loud. There we go. A little less distracting, perhaps, but Ashore the Celestial Burden. So this is a reissue. I'll take it out of the sleeve here real quickly. It's kind of on a shiny... This is a reissue on Floga here. This album was a Swedish band, originally released in 1996, I believe. These guys, Dark Millennium, they are a hard band to describe. They are, I mean, they're somewhat melodic. I wouldn't call them a melodic Swedish death metal band, though. They are death metal, too. They're kind of more of a just melodic, almost sort of, not even really progressive. Progressive avant-garde doesn't really fit. I mean, maybe progressive. Progressive might fit the best out of any of them. So, but anyway, really cool, kind of obscure Swedish death metal band from the 90s that don't easily fit in any box. They're, you know, they don't sound exactly like anybody else. They don't fit with the Gothenburg stuff. They don't fit with the Stockholm stuff, that kind of thing. They've got really cool kind of meandering bass lines and things of that nature. The songs that really stood out for me, Beyond the Dragon's Eye on side B, I remember being quite a standout. I really like Black Literature as well. Disillusion, Wizardry Assemblage, those songs are all really good. But, like I said, really kind of interesting bass lines, interesting vocal interplay. There's some clean vocals, there's some harsher vocals, really good melodic guitar lines, but they're not really predictable melodic guitar lines. So, you know, Dark Millennium, it's just easier to check this out. Like I said, I don't know if my words can do it justice, but this is, again, Ashore the Celestial Burden. Really cool artwork, too. Really cool cover on this thing. So, definitely check that out if you're into kind of a little more proggy-leaning death metal and Swedish stuff in particular. So, alright, next up, we've got here, Faith Extractor. Yes, Contempt for a Failed Dimension. Sorry, it's a little bit dimly lit in here, and being an old fucker like I am, I can barely fucking see the writing in here. I forget that the camera kind of brightens up and kind of color corrects, so it's on the screen it's much lighter than what it actually is in this room. But anyway, Contempt for a Failed Dimension by Faith Extractor. This album just came out this year, 2023. See the back there. This is on Redefining Darkness Records. And it's on some pretty cool green vinyl there, you'll see. I ordered this from the Redefining Darkness Bandcamp probably a few months ago. Put it back in there. But, I shouldn't be re-sleeving, but I'm a fucking OCD lunatic, so I've got to put it back in the fucking bag or it's going to drive me goddamn nuts. So, Faith Extractor are a really cool death metal band. They're from Cincinnati, Ohio. Ash Thomas, I believe this is Zdenka Prado is the bassist. So Ash and Zdenka were in Estuary and Estuary of Calamity together. Of course, Ash is also that glare. Ash is also in Shed the Skin at this point, and this is just really good, kind of classic sounding death metal. It's a little techier maybe than, it's not, I don't want to call it old school death metal necessarily, but it is very fast and aggressive, kind of jackhammering away, that sort of thing. So definitely one of my favorite death metal albums of the year. So, and Faith Extractor, I think, is a band that is underrated. Most of the Ash Thomas stuff is pretty underrated too. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for all the cool shit that he does. Alright, next up. This one also came out this year. Spirit Possession. The new album by Spirit Possession called Of the Sign. This is on Profound Lore Records. Got a pretty cool cover there. This is a two-piece band from Canada. They would be considered probably kind of black thrash, but not easily defined by black thrash, I would say. This is, like I said, second album. The songs that stood out on this for me were probably Inhale, The Hovering Keys, Practitioners of Power, or Enter the Golden Sign. Those are the ones that in particular stood out. But like I said, this is a pretty fast record, aggressive, harsh vocals. Again, it's kind of like, it kind of falls under black thrash, but it doesn't sound like a European style black thrash record or anything of that nature. It's kind of got its own unique take on the genre. Being Canadian, I feel like the Canadians always have a pretty interesting, interpretation of stuff, so definitely recommended. Like I said, two-piece band, really cool stuff. On Profound Lore from 2023. I'm kind of ripping through some of these just because I do have quite a few records here, and trying to keep the video times perhaps a little bit shorter. All right, the next thing is yes, this is actually from a couple years ago. Solipsism, with the album, if I can read the damn title. This turning off the lights thing was kind of a bad idea, I think. It's Cruelty and Necrospection. This came out in 2021, actually, and this is on Altair Productions. So this is another two-piece. Well, this is a two-piece black metal band. These guys are from Australia. They're in a bunch of other bands. A ton of other bands. This was I had not heard of these guys before until very recently. This is it's raw black metal, but it actually has some really cool melodic guitar lines in it, actually. And so it really stands out from a lot of the contemporary raw black metal going on right now. Like I said, it's got these really, catchy and beautiful melodic guitar lines, but it's got that raw production. If you know Altair is a Portuguese label, and most of the black metal they put out would fall under that kind of very, lo-fi, kind of necro sounding, but it definitely has more of its roots in the 90s kind of raw necro production, maybe not so much like the contemporary necro production, but really catchy melodic guitar playing, which makes it stand out from the rest of the crowd. Song titles that really, songs that really I dug. Cruelty and Necrospection, the title track. Alone with My Thoughts Again. As I Wince from the Unrelenting. Those are particularly awesome songs on here. So, like I said, so this is a 2021 Altair release. Oh man, you got stuff falling out of there. Sorry, this one's a bit of a mess today. Been out of practice. Been on vacation for a week in the beginning of this month. Went to Oregon, which was really fun, but been back in business here, just trying to find a, new job. I left my job a couple of months ago. I don't think that's something I talked about, and I've been trying to find something, new, so that's kind of in the business here. But anyway, next up, Azath with Through a Warren of Shadow. So Azath is a death metal band. This is on Pulverized Records. I think this is a either 2020 or 2021 release. So Andrew Lee of Rip to Shreds is also in this band. This is a side project band of his. So yeah, you can see really cool artwork there. That dragon on the front, on top of the mountain, and you've got, you know, the dragons on the back. That skull and crossed swords. So this is, I mean, it is fantasy themed death metal with that awesome ripping leads from Andrew Lee. If you've listened to Rip to Shreds, you know how much of a shredder he is and how he is very adept at writing catchy leads and riffs and things like that. I think this is based on a specific like fantasy series, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Like I said, unfortunately, a lot of this stuff I actually listened to. I was meaning to do this collection update probably like 2 months ago. And so a lot of this stuff I've actually listened to quite a while ago, and now I've almost kind of forgotten what it sounds like in great detail. So my apologies for being a little foggy on some of this here. I'm a little with that. So okay, the next two are a pair of albums that are they're a companion pieces. So it's two records from Slasher Dave here. It's Cannibal Death Gods and Cannibal Death Gods 2. So these are not metal records. These are more, they would fit into the soundtrack for movies that don't exist. These kind of fit more into like the Italian horror soundtrack, synth soundtrack feels. These kind of sound like Goblin or Fabio Frizzi sort of Italian horror exploitation soundtracks. They came as a set. I got them from Hell's Headbangers a few months ago. They're both on really cool colored vinyl. There's no lyrics, there's no vocals. They're basically both like zombie, kind of zombie horror themed soundtrack records. So this one, you can see it's kind of on kind of a cool blue, green, orange kind of like, color merge there. That's pretty cool on that one. But yeah, like I said, this is very much in the vein of any of the Goblin or Fabio Frizzi like soundtracks from those like Lucio Fulci or like Dario Argento horror films, zombie focused ones in particular. This one, let me show you this one. This is for Cannibal Death Gods 2. That was Cannibal Death Gods 1. This is Cannibal Death Gods 2. This one's on kind of a blue and green kind of swirl there. Really cool as well. But Slasher Dave is also in Acid Witch. He's the keyboardist and vocalist in Acid Witch, and this is just, he puts out a bunch of solo records, solo projects that are all basically more in that horror soundtrack vein. Really good stuff if you're a fan of that 70s horror soundtracks. This is probably for new stuff in that vein, some of the best going, and I would highly recommend it. And it was pretty cheap from Hell's Headbangers. So like I said, Cannibal Death Gods 1, and Cannibal Death Gods 2. So released also this year on Hell's Headbangers. So what else? All right, what do we got? All right, last two for you, which these also are not heavy metal records. The next two are by the same band. This is a Texas band that is a goth band. This is Rose Garden Funeral Party. This is an EP by them called At the Stake. This is a repress. This is on, I can't read, Young and Cold Records. It's a European record label. Show you the back there of the band. You've got Fronted by Leah Lane, this lady here. She is the vocalist. She also plays guitar in the band. They are from Texas, as I said. Really cool, kind of has like the vibe of like if you mix Susie and the Banshees and like new wave stuff. There's a big Bowie influence on this, that kind of pop influence there. All these songs are really good. The title, the main track, Fear of Feeling Nothing, I think there's a video for, which is really good. Salvation and Saving Face is really good as well. Put that one in there. And then the next one is a full length from them. These guys have quite a bit of records out, actually. Quite a bit of records out. But I only became aware of them probably end of last year. And again, these guys were fucking putting it on the side. It's a pain in the ass to get in the thing. Whoa, power just cut out. Holy shit. Anyway. Yeah, this video's kind of turning out to be a fucking disaster, isn't it? Like the power company I saw there, they've been doing work out in my area with power stuff, and it's a Saturday night, but like there was like a power company guy out there, and apparently he just turned off my power. But anyway, this is I got the camera here. This is attached to my laptop, so it should be fine. We'll knock it out. Anyway, the second record that I have from Rose Garden Funeral Party, this one is called In the Wake of Fire. And I'm not sure exactly where this fits in their discography exactly. So we've got, second record. Man, sorry. This one's like a total shit show. I feel like everything is kind of going against me here. It's like I'm completely caught off my game here, like not really prepared. Anyway, there you can see some song titles there. In the Wake of Fire, Gate of Heaven, Polaroid, Chaos. I remember the ones I really liked. Chaos stood out to me. Better Than the Fix, Painless, Calloused Heart, all really good tracks there. And as I said, this continues kind of in the vein of that kind of Susie and the Banshees meets maybe new wave meets kind of Bowie, really catchy, memorable songwriting. I don't think this one came on a cool color. Let me take a look. Oh, it did. It did come in a cool color, so we'll pull that out. It's on red. Just on kind of a translucent red there. I think the other one is just on black. But these were both represses on that Young and Cold Records out of, I believe it's France. It's interesting. This band, even though they're an American band, I don't think they've put out anything on an American label. I believe they're only on that, like, European stuff. And like I said, the only place I've seen their stuff in the U.S. has been getting it on Bandcamp. And even the stuff that I got off Bandcamp, it came from Europe. It didn't come from, like, the band itself didn't carry it, didn't sell it. So, anyway. So, that is what I've got for now as far as collection update here for Collection Erection number 4. I've got more videos coming up. I'm going to try to be a little more prolific here. I've got a couple new ideas for series. One of them kind of going off my sort of like stories, show stories. I want to call it Documents of Depravity, and it's me just kind of like recounting, crazy shows or like just even crazy experiences in my life. Weird, fucked up things that I've been part of. And then another story, another series I want to do that it's called Attack of the Clones, and it's really kind of focusing on clone bands that kind of like base their whole identity on trying to mimic another band and kind of track their evolution from, do they stay a clone band, are they a one-off band, or do they ever evolve and eventually develop their own identity? So I think those are the next couple videos that are coming up here. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I know I've gotten a few new people here. I'm really excited about that. And let's hope that the next video is a little more dialed in. So, see you in the 9th circle.